Hello and welcome to a brand spanking new CraftySimulations video featuring the Diamond DA42 by COWS. Yes, we're back to the leading edge aviation DA42. Now, for the past few videos I've been talking about doing this video. It's a very interesting video because a few weeks ago, or a few days ago I should say really now, I actually purchased the Pooley's checklist guide for the Diamond DA42. This is a checklist guide which is part of any real pilot's kit list when regarding flying the Diamond DA42. And I've been saying that I'm going to try and operate this aircraft via the checklist. We're finally there, we're at it. We are now currently sat with our leading edge aviation DA42, and as you can, well, if you can remember, we actually flew here into Galveston Retford Airport, which is an area where, as you can see, we have diamond, 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 diamond. There's a few diamonds here. It's a area that Diamond use for, I would guess, for maintenance and, you know, parts for their Diamond aircraft. So we flew into Retford, and we're going to fly. This is the part of the video where we're going to fly out of Retford. We're going to go back to Waddington, and we're then going to start planning for our flight down to the home of this particular aircraft, Golf Lima Delta Golf Foxtrot, which is based out of London Oxford's airport, where Leading Edge Aviation are based. So I could do this video where I just fly back to Waddington and then, you know, fly from here and make it a one-part video. However, I'm actually going to split this into two parts. And the reason why I'm going to split this into two parts is because the first part of this video is going to be a lot of talking and a lot of showing off little buttons and various things about this particular aircraft. And I don't think, although I could put it all into one part, it would make a video that would be like over an hour long. I don't think anyone's going to really want to watch an over an hour long of me trying to work out this aircraft and then try and fly it back to RAF Waddington. So what we're going to do, we're going to do it as a first of two-part video, and this part will be me following the checklist to the part where the aircraft is started up and sat at the taxiway or the entrance of the runway here at London Galveston Airport. So I think then, because once we get into the air, it'll be more falling down to the, probably a poor choice of words there, falling down, but it'll be more back to the flying of the video, obviously, and there isn't too many checklists we have to follow regarding the operation of this aircraft, and we're flying back to Waddington. So the first part is going to be heavily on the checklist, second part not so much. So like I said, this is a real world kit list, checklist even, for the Diamond DA42. There is going to be parts of the particular aircraft of which I'm flying, the flight sim version, that does not allow me to obviously use the checklist. This is, you know, for the real thing. So, you know, there's things I'm going to say that obviously we're going to find out whether we can actually do or we can't. So, this checklist covers everything from the walking out to the aircraft to having a flight, landing, and then shutting down and getting out of the aircraft, and everything in between. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover from the start, from the right at the top, the preliminary check. Okay, so this would be me walking out to the aircraft. Obviously in the flight sim I already sat in the aircraft, but we're going to ignore the fact there's a pilot in there. So, according to the checklist, aircraft unobstructed for taxiing, no fuel, oil or hydraulic spillages, all ice and frost removed from the aircraft surfaces, tie downs, pitot cover, external control locks, covers and chocks removed and stowed. So, in the flight sim version, let's see what we can do with that. So, aircraft unobstructed for taxiing. Yes, we can do a left-hand taxi and wheel back out onto this little taxiway, and then we can taxi out to the runway here, and then we'll be backtracking up with the runway to get to our takeoff position. We could swing all the way around and go the right way and follow that taxiway. So yeah, that's unobstructed. No fuel, oil and hydraulic spillages. We don't have that in a flight simulator, so we don't have to worry about that. This aircraft is pretty much perfect in more ways than one. All ice and frost removed from the aircraft surfaces. According to the flight simulator, this is the middle of summer. This is the UK, so there's a distinct possibility of ice and frost in the middle of summer, but for this case we don't have. Tie downs, pitot cover, external control locks, covers and chocks have been removed and stowed. So tie downs, we don't have any. Pitot cover, that would be this probe here. I do believe that's a pitot. Is also free. External control locks, so control locks would be the locks that are put on the control surfaces for storage when the aircraft is parked up. We don't have any on the simulator for this particular aircraft. Covers and chocks have been removed and stowed. So covers would be anything over the nacelles. I think there would be a cover for, I presume is the radiator or some sort of thing, but that's an entrance there, that'll be covered. That's obviously not in the flight simulator. Chocks have been removed. Yes, we don't have any chocks. Again, not simulated for this particular aircraft. So now we jump into the cabin for the rest of the checklist. So, aircraft documents have been checked. It took me a while to find these actually. We do actually have aircraft documents. And if I just move the view, there they are. That is the file, the holy file for this particular aircraft. So everything that happens with this aircraft, where it goes, where it takes off from, all that kind of stuff, all the documentation for that aircraft is, in this case, in the aircraft. We can't click on this. I don't know whether we're ever going to be able to click on this, but I would doubt it very much. Right, so pitot cover has been removed. Checked. Check interior for foreign objects. So we don't have any foreign objects. Obviously this is a perfect interior, but we don't want loose objects, which would obviously interfere with the operation of this aircraft. So that's been checked. Circuit breakers have been checked. Now this is accurate to the aircraft because we have circuit breakers and they are all operational. We can pull them and they can pop, I do believe, at any time. So they're checked. I watched a video of a guy doing this checklist, and he just basically wiped his hand across all rows of the circuit breakers to check that they were in. So they are checked and in. Start key has been pulled out. Again, we can't do that in a flight sim. Start key is always in the aircraft. Gear selector is set down. It is. Electronic master switch on. And we'll let that warm up. We'll let it start up even. Gear has 3 greens. We have 3 greens there. Fuel quantity and temp off. So the only way I can find that is... Yes, we've got fuel temp. I don't know whether that means... It says off. I haven't a clue. External lights are set to on. Not those ones. Actually, no. Yeah, we'll have them all on. Just to check. Probably doesn't do the battery much good. But where the heck are we? Pitot heat set on. So now we have de-icer fluid quantity check. I believe... Yes, I know the doors are open. I can see that. De-icer fluid has been checked. We're running full. De-icer pump 1 select. We are on select on pump 1. Checked. De-icer high and max. Medium. High. Max. Checked. De-ice pressure. Check. I don't know. Where's the ice pressure? Well, that's the quantity. I would have thought it's probably something that doesn't happen in the flight sim. De-icer pump 2. Selected. De-icer pressure checked. Yes, it's there. De-icer lights on. Again, I presume that to be correct. It's summer. I don't have to worry about this. So set that back to pump 1. We're not going to worry about anything else in the de-ice section. Like I said, it is summer. External lights have been checked. So let's check. So we have nav lights and strobe lights. We have taxi light and landing light. And that would be all. I'll check on the other side as well. We have strobe light and nav light. Stall warning. I've heard it a number of times, but I can never find where the bloody button is. I don't know why I pressed that, but stall warning. I can never find it in a million years. Alright, so pitot heat, pitot static tube heat. Does that mean putting your hand on the end of that thing? Because in which case I don't want to. But yeah, I'll put my mouse over it. Yep, it's warm. So pitot heat off. External lights off. Electronic master switch off. Check. So that would be the preliminary checks completed. So next I have 3 pages of external checks. This is something that we can't really do because it involves draining tanks, checking, spinners, exhaust checks, all that kind of stuff. So what I will say is what a pilot would be doing around about now wouldn't be sitting in the aircraft, but he would start off at the nose of the aircraft and basically do a 360-degree walk round of the aircraft, including checking the undercarriage, checking obviously that, it's got it written down here, so we'd actually check on the leftmost gear, left main gear, which is obviously that one there, we would have a strut test, so a minimum 4 centimetre bare piston and down lock. I believe that would be that bit there, so we need about a minimum of 4 centimetres bare piston. We then check the tyre condition pressure, 4.5 bar creep mark. So again, you're checking basically the tyre. Can I have the mouse back, please? Thank you. So you're checking the tyre. Again, we don't have to worry about that. It's not in the flight simulator. So again, basically, you're just walking around, checking everything, checking the fuel tanks, checking the engine nacelle, the propeller blades, the spinner cap or spinner hub. Basically checking for any damage, any sign of screws or bolts or Allen screws, whatever it is that connects this aircraft up. Checking that they're all correct and there's no damage. Walking down the wing of the aircraft, checking that there's no impact damage on the leading edge of the wing. Checking the winglet, obviously for any sign of damage. Checking the control surfaces. You basically grab hold of them, move them up and down, check that they're free and operating, and you basically walk around the entire aircraft doing all that. So what you do on the left side, you do on the right side, and you basically end up walking all the way around. But we can't do that because we're on a computer. So we'll get rid of the external checks because they are neither here nor there. So, internal checks before the engine starts. So we'll pop back in the aircraft. So, pre-flight check has been completed. It has. Baggage and tow bar has been secured. It has. We cannot do that, but we would be stowing this kind of baggage and the tow bar would probably be stowed in here. I would imagine. I don't know. It depends how big the tow bar is, but I can say the stowage area for the DA42 is up front of the nose. Fuel selectors, select to on. I believe that's these two. They are currently set to on. Power levers are set to idle. They are. Parking brake is set. It is. Alternate air is closed, which is this thing. It is. Manual gear extension handle pushed. I do believe is this. Does it say that? Emergency gear extension. It is. Yes, so that's already set and pushed. Gear selector is set down. It is. Avionic master switch, which is this, should be off. It is. Electronic master switch off. It is. Engine master switches should be off. They are, both of them, left and right. Pitot heat is off. It is. Alternate static is closed, which is this one here. That is closed. Alternators, both are on, which are left and right. They are set on. ECU swap is set to auto. It is, which is this here. Remember, you've got 2 ECUs per engine, and they are set to auto. All light switches are set to off. All 4 are off, and the instrument and floodlights are off. We do have some floodlighting behind us, which is also off. I'm not going to bother turning around for that and never turn it on. Emergency switch is off and guarded, not simulated, but it is in this case off and it is guarded. ELT is armed, which is across the other side. It is in the armed position. Again, we can't simulate that, but if you press that, you get a rather annoying alarm. Circuit breakers, once again, because we have been fiddling with stuff, have checked as being in. They are, and always remember there is 4 circuit breakers here for the fuel pumps. Flap selector is set up. It is. Electronic master switch on. It is. Rudder pedals adjusted. Obviously, we can't do that in a flight simulator, so what I'm going to do is adjust my seat so that my feet are on the rudder pedals. They are, and that feels very adjusted. Flight controls have been checked, so what we'll do, set that down here. So to the left, to the right, all the way to the back, all the way to the front, and rudder movement, and obviously we will check that again. This will be a lot easier with TrackIR. I'm not going to run TrackIR at the moment because it will just be confusing to people. Again, working on the left side, and if we can just move over a little touch, you can just see the tail moving there as well. So we'll just swing that over. Just check the right hand side. So that's honky dory, checked. Trims have been checked, so they're automatically set to take off, and rudder trim is set to central. That is correct. Gear warning plus lights, which is a fire detector test. Go in here. Gear fire test works. De-icer annunciator test. We're not going to do the de-icer because it's summer. Windshield de-icer, they're not doing that. Flaps set to landing. Flaps are set down to landing on both sides. You can just see the right hand side. Variable elevator backstop. Now this is an interesting thing. Again, part of the DA42 and not any other aircraft that I know of. So what we're going to do is a control stick to the aft and hold, like so. And then we're going to push the power levers to the maximum. And what you're going to hear, actually I'm just going to zoom this in because you're not going to see this too well. You're going to hear a little motor. And even with the stick pulled all the way to the back, the stick's going to move. So throttle's coming up. Stick goes forward, and that's the aircraft doing it all by itself. Throttle comes back, and the stick goes back to its original position. I believe it is something to do with the aircraft trying to protect itself through stalls, I think. I can't remember off the top of my head. I did read somewhere what it was. So that completes the internal checks before engine start. So moving on to the fun part. Engine starts, checks left engine. So flaps are set to up. Flaps are up and confirmed left and right. Blah blah blah, where are we? Passengers have been instructed. Yeah, we ain't got any passengers. Ain't nobody brave enough to sit in an aircraft with me. Seatbelts have been fastened. Again, well, no, they're not really, funnily enough, but again, Flight Simulator don't do that. Rear door has been closed and latched. So, rear door has been closed and latched. I don't even know if we can open it, actually, in the Flight Sim, but it is closed. Front canopy, position 1 or 2. Front canopy. Does that mean shut? Because I will shut it. Actually, probably a good idea. So, we'll shut that. Thank you. We'll open that up, the old cat flap. G1000 powered and acknowledged. So powered and acknowledged. MFD is set to engine fuel. Engine, and we are on the fuel. Actually, we do have it because we haven't started up yet, so we have it on here on this side as well. Fuel quantity and temperature checked. So oil is low, oil pressure is low, fuel temperature is correct and checked, fuel quantity is checked. Total time in service noted, which I believe is system? No, not that one, it's always that one. So 10.2 hours time total, total time in service. MFD set to engine system, we are now back on. Again, de-icer check's not doing it. Start key has been inserted, it has. Power levers set to idle, they are. Pull that out. ACL strobe on. Now, I was always told, I was under the impression, you do not start the strobe whilst close to people. I also heard that you don't start the strobe at night close to people. So, where we are now, we would have people walking around, we don't want the strobe. It's very powerful light, strobing all the time. But as soon as we're in daylight, I think we can get away with it. So, again, we're going to turn that on. So, engine start procedure, normal sequence, left-hand engine first. So, left hand's first. Right, so I'm going to run through this before I actually do this. So, we're going to go engine master on, annunciator on instruments checked, glow indication off, propeller area clear, start key start, oil pressure outside red within 2 seconds, voltage and electrical load checked, annunciation and instrumentation, try saying that fast, check. So, basically translated, left engine we are going to start first. So what we're looking for is the annunciator here. Now when I select this master to on, it's going to basically start the procedure for starting the aircraft, and we're looking for glow plug warning, which is what you get on this aircraft. And when the glow plugs even are warmed and ready to start, the glow plug warning will disengage, and then you can start the engine. We want to obviously check that the aircraft is clear on the left side, which it is. We don't have this silly flight simulator traffic or people walking around. So, engine master set to on. Actually, I could do this down here. Set to on. Glow plug has gone out. Indication has been clear. Prop area clear. Start key selected to start. Annunciators have gone out. Should have been really looking at the pressure. Pressure has gone up into the green. That is fine. So, check after engine start. Oil pressure checked. Oil pressure has been checked. RPM set to 900 plus 20, so we'll just ease it up a little bit. There's 880, that'll be about right. Warm-up time of 2 minutes. Okay. So then we have the repeat for the right engine. So, right engine, we are, let's light that up. Thank you, I can actually hear myself talk now. So, we're going to check the right area is clear, and repeat and rinse or rinse and repeat even, the procedure we did for starting the left engine. So, we are clear on the right side, so, going up. Looking for the glow plug warning. Glow plug warning has gone out. Right engine has been started. So now we're waiting for 2 minutes. So fuel selectors are, just lost my position there. Fuel selectors are now set to crossfeed. Checked. Pitot heat on. Check amps off. So I'm going to basically, I think there was an electrical section. Amps. Pitot heat going on, amps have come up, warnings have gone out, one of them will come back on again in a second. There we go, that's perfectly fine. We'll clear that. Avionics have been set to on. They are. And then FMS setup has been completed. So we'll just let the systems all fire up. COWS have come online. So whilst we are sat here warming, we will now set up our flights, which, like I say, we're not doing in this particular video. So what I'm going to do is actually go this, set this back up to that. So I need flight plan. Always get this button wrong.
TOS system test. Okay.
So our origin airport is Echo Golf November Echo. Too far. Echo. Selected. We will be departing runway 20. According to the sim, it is runway 21. Intriguing. Enter. We are not going to do an en route, we're doing a direct to, so now we need Echo Golf. Is X-ray W? X-ray. X-ray. Wellington. can never remember which one it is now. Stay with me while I consult my book of many airfields. Runway 20, I was correct. That is set. So that takes us on a course of 115 degrees for 16.8 nautical miles. Okay, so we will clear that. Just check that's gone in. It has. Very short route today. Your procedures. We will departure. Do we not have any procedures for Gamston? It's weird. I don't know whether we have any for Waddington. We should do. Runway 20 visual. Doing a straight in. Minimums we're going to set for about. I'm sorry if this microphone's clicking or picking up all the clicking, but I will set that for about 1200 minimums. I don't know what that's supposed to be correct, but straight finals runway. We won't activate that yet. Let's set that up. So as you can see, we've actually got the approach. It will take us to the start of the approach to the runway, the active. So that's all correct. Now we will set our autopilot. We will have cruising. Oh, we're not going to go too far this one. We'll set for 3000. Vertical will be set for 500 foot increase. So that's all set and checked. Right, so that's the autopilot set. We set our route up. That's now over 2 minutes, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. So we've done that. So after engine start, continued autopilot test. Yeah, I'm not going to go for all that. Floodlighting has been checked on as required. We don't need it. Position lights are now coming on. They are. Fuel selectors set to on. I think that's those. Altimeters have been set, so we are just caught one of the buttons there, don't want to do that. So altimeter set. We'll do the cheat for the flight simulator. Set. That's going to be next, so do that. Standby horizon has been checked. Transponder code, we are squawking for VFR even. So transponder, we'll set that to on, and we are VFR, which is 7000. So that's all set. So now I am going to turn the TrackIR on. So we're clear on the left side, clear on the right side. We are going to turn out to the left, go back up the taxiway here, join the main runway. We'll do our run-ups Yeah, we'll do our run-ups just at the end there, because we've done our 2 minutes. We should be clear for temperatures. And we are. So we are now on the during taxiway checks. So we need to check our brakes, our nose wheel steering and flight instrumentation. So we can do that quite quickly. Parking brakes coming off. There's the wheel brakes. Steering checks. Instrumentation is correct. Now, if I remember, the exit here was a little bit tight when I turned up here. So we'll try and stick ourselves to the right hand side of the taxiway here, and also trying to miss the great big green tanks of what I can only assume to be fuel. And the rather expensive King Air. Going to position ourselves out away from other aircraft so we can do our run-ups. So that'll do. Parking brake has been set. Right, so we have our before takeoff checks. So parking brake is set, it is, seat belts have been fastened, they are, rear doors have been closed and latched, they have, front canopy closed and latched, it is, we can actually do that in the simulator. Door warning lights, don't have any. Engine instrumentation has been checked, and we're now in the green for all our temps. Circuit breakers have been checked once again, and they are. Electronic elevator trim is set to take off. It is. Fuel selectors set to on. They are. Rudder trim as required, so I usually end up turning this a little bit to the right. It is. Flaps have been checked up, flight controls have been checked. Quite turn around due to TrackIR being a bit tight there. Power lever set to idle. Now we're doing the ECU test. So the ECU test, ECU test button, press and hold. ECU backup unsafe, light flashing. ECU A and B caution lights flashing. ECU B caution lights flashing. Prop cycling. ECU A caution lights flashing. Prop cycle. All ECU lights go off. That's a mouthful. Translation. Basically, we have to press the magic button in between here. Obviously, in the real aircraft, 2 fingers, and you better press both the buttons here. But on obviously Flight Simulator, we can't do that. So parking brake has been set. We are clear to do our run-up checks. There's no one behind us. Basically, what's going to happen is I'll press that button. We're going to get a load of messages. The aircraft is going to check both ECUs for both engines, do the cycling of the propellers, and we are going to see various warning lights come up, and they will clear once we get off the test. So here we go for the test. And we're going to run that twice. ECU test is correct. The only annunciator we have is a stall warning. It's connected to the pitot heat. That's perfectly fine. So pitot heat as required. We've got it on. Ice protection not required. Transponder set to, if I can zoom this in a little bit, I can see. Transponder is now set to altitude reporting. CDI is going to be set. For some reason I can't set the CDI. Intriguing. We can't set a VFR course. What am I missing? Got to stop pressing that button. It's very weird. Might have a little bit of a simulated issue because that screen there should disappear after I start the engines. It goes onto there. Luckily, I mean, obviously, if it's a real aircraft, you wouldn't be flying. But so we are now at climb to cruise. So we don't need the checklist anymore. Luckily, I know the route, and that is showing up. Stop. Very weird. We'll have to concern ourselves later because I'm going to sit here forever doing that. Right, so now we're going to run out to the runway and we're going to be taking off. Well, this will be the end of this part of the video anyway. Turn the landing lights on as well while we're on the runway. So, I hope you found this part of the video informative. Obviously, like I say, most of the stuff we can actually test here in the simulator from a real checklist for the real DA42. I think that's always fascinating. Obviously, it's made the video a little bit longer. So the next part of the video will be the flight from Gamston back to Waddington, which will follow the normal route for my styles of video. So we're just going to get to the end of the runway. If you've got any questions or comments, or you'd like to know where I got it's the Pooley's DA42 guide, ask away. Any comments, put them underneath this video. And I will happily answer them. So what we're going to do here is line up. And there we go. Part 1 of this video. DA42 Twin Star by COWS. Flown almost 90% by the checklist. Like I say, I hope you found this video informative. It is a little bit different style of video. And in the next video, or next part of this video, we will be flying back to RAF Waddington. And we'll be getting ready for our flight down to the home of this particular aircraft, London Oxford. So I will see you in part 2 of this video very, very soon.